With the balance sheet in a great place, I think it's the perfect time for General Mills to reshape the portfolio in hopes of staying relevant in today's protein-ified grocery world. So, over a very recent period of 7 days, General Mills signaled twice, quite loudly in fact, that the 168-year-old multinational CPG company is ready to reshape its brand portfolio for growth. The first signal happened on September 12th when General Mills announced that it had entered into a definitive agreement to sell its North American yogurt business to two leading French dairy companies in cash transactions that totaled $2.1 billion. dollars. And then on September 18th, during the fiscal 2025 first quarter earnings call, General Mills CEO explicitly stated that the intended usage for those divestiture proceeds would be to acquire smaller size bolt on assets that would enhance growth. And that likely created two questions in your head. First, what deal size is considered small for General Mills? And which existing General Mills categories could be attractive for bolt on acquisitions? Well, General Mills CEO did mention that the preferable size for any potential M&A would be similar to what the company paid for the organic food brand Annie's in 2014, which was around $800 million, dollars, but less than the approximately $8 billion deal for the natural pet food brand Blue Buffalo in 2018. That being said, General Mills CEO also emphasized flexibility in entertaining a larger size if the right deal appeared within the investment window. And then, in terms of categorical focuses for the bolt on acquisitions, there was a similar degree of vagueness within the commentary from the General Mills CEO, explaining targets could be either domestic or international, but focused in categories where the company has a right to win, can create synergies, and has conviction around growth outlook. So, not that helpful, right? Well, maybe to help inform us on possible categories, let's start by looking at the deal patterns by the current CEO that has been leading General Mills since June of 2017. The most prevalent pattern is likely around pet nutrition, with General Mills entering the category in the before mentioned Blue Buffalo deal, but the company has also acquired the pet treats business from Tyson Foods in mid 2021, pet supplements brand Fera Pets late last year, and Edgard and Cooper, one of Europe's leading premium pet food brands, in this past April. But while I have a 2.5-year-old sheepadoodle named Onyx that we raised from puppyhood and I love so much, my current content wheelhouse doesn't extend much into pet nutrition, at least not yet. So let's stick with the human nutrition side, which has been more about divestitures than acquisitions over the last 7 years. In fact, the only acquisition was made more than 2 years ago for TNT Crust, a manufacturer of high quality frozen pizza crust for pizza chains and food service distributors. Okay, so maybe a bit of a dead end when attempting to pattern match, but maybe another type of deal can give us a better direction. For those that don't follow the architecture of the General Mills brand portfolio, the North America Retail Operating Unit, which makes up 62% of the total sales, is still dependent on what the company calls morning foods, with the largest of those foods being cereal. And if we eliminate the Great Shutdown outlier period, cereal has been facing long term sales decline because younger consumers are eating less of it. In an effort to remodel the image of the category, the big three CPG portfolios involved in cereal, aka General Mills, Post Holdings, and Kellogg's, have tried to communicate its ability to be consumed more as a snack food, but also utilize new product launches that contain much higher protein content to boost the health halo. And that brings us to that important collaboration deal with performance nutrition brand Ghost Lifestyle, which I talked about in a piece of content a few months ago. I'm going to skip over all of the Ghost Lifestyle background information because my assumption is that most of my audience is relatively aware of this brand that was built with authenticity at its core. Ghost has a brick by brick mindset of building a distinct brand that doesn't forget about where it came from, oftentimes leading it to lean heavily into nostalgia. So let's start off by talking about cereal, which has been a theme throughout the entire brand lifecycle of Ghost. And it begins with Ghost co founder Dan Lorenzo, that self describes himself as a cereal aficionado. You've seen his love for the breakfast item during the Behind the Brand YouTube content. When Ghost Whey launched, it didn't initially come in industry standard chocolate or vanilla. The first flavor was called cereal milk. Moreover, Ghost celebrates National Cereal Day annually and launched several LTO cereal related tchotchkes like bowls throughout the years. Fast forwarding to this past April, Ghost finally entered the functional foods category, and they could have gone with the easiest form factor like protein bars, but that wouldn't have been distinctive enough or authentic to their brand story. Instead, Ghost spent considerable R&D time to perfect its protein cereal in partnership with General Mills, even getting authorization to utilize real Lucky Charms marshmallows. But as the cereal business unit director at General Mills stated recently, it's no secret that consumers are looking for more protein choices these days. Yet it's the focus of that statement and not the business unit that I believe is important within the final portion of this content. And I risk sounding like a broken record here, but US consumers can't seem to get enough protein. In addition to the ubiquitous protein bars, protein powders, and protein beverages, more grams of protein seem to be making its way into anything and everything that's quick, easy, and accessible, thus penetrating more diverse food and beverage categories. And this makes sense, especially when you consider that protein has become this kind of holy water that instantly anoints any food and beverage with a health halo. While the focus on high protein diets started in those shadowy niches of sports nutrition and weight management, there's now increasingly diverse consumer cohorts that possess a heightened awareness around the value of this essential nutrient. And it's that demographic diversity and those consumer cohorts being interested for different reasons that's making protein a battleground category as it proliferates across the entire grocery store. So, as I explained in that introductory statement, I think the near term is the perfect time for General Mills to reshape the portfolio in hopes of staying relevant in today's protein-ified grocery world. But then, based on the previously mentioned investment specifics by General Mills' CEO, which handful of CPG brands focused in and around protein could be highly probable targets? And since I just mentioned the breakfast food segment, I'll start by predicting that General Mills would benefit greatly by acquiring Kodiak, that's majority owned by the private equity firm El Catterton. The only possible challenge to this name is that El Catterton likely bought its stake in Kodiak during an inflated categorical valuation environment in May of 2021, which means it could need to either adjust typical ROI expectations or be forced to extend its normal liquidity event timeline. But more than likely, the bulk of these General Mills M&A predictions make more sense in the snack segment that's currently the single largest component of the North America retail operating unit. And I'd like to see General Mills strengthen its market share within the snack bars category and specifically the wellness snack bar space. General Mills could really benefit from adding more protein to existing snack bars portfolio brands like Good Measure, Larabar, and Nature Valley. My only concern might be that deal size could be lower than desired by General Mills to pick up long term attractive assets. The first protein bar brand that General Mills should kick the tires on would be Aloha, which is expected to reach $100 million in sales this year and achieve nearly 500% growth between 2020 and 2023. Moreover, the other protein bar brand that General Mills should consider is IQBAR, that has a similar growth story and will likely reach a 9-figure revenue run rate before the year is over. And then, adjacent to the bar format focused convenient nutrition brands, General Mills should also consider acquiring the protein snacking brand Lenny Larry's. With mainstream consumers increasingly prioritizing protein based snack consumption within their healthy, active lifestyle, acquiring Lenny Larry's would synergistically complement both conventional and wellness snacks within the General Mills brand portfolio. Next, I would suggest General Mills to look at pairing its Epic Provisions acquisition from 2016 with a great meat snacks brand like Chomps that will have revenue exceeding, I think, $300 million this year. But while I intended to stop after providing a handful of possible M&A predictions for General Mills, my brain just can't seem to get over the CEO's comment around emphasizing deal size flexibility if the right deal appeared within the investment window. And while this target would be quite literally unlikely, mostly because of the recent acquisition of OWYN, showing that the Simply Good Foods company intends to eat and not be eaten, you just never know, right? Yes, the Simply Good Foods company market cap is hovering around $3.5 billion, thus needing a deal size past the $4 billion range to get approved by shareholders. But hear me out. The company's board of directors is still led by private equity legends that might want to taste just one more large legacy cementing deal. But I hope you enjoyed the first principles thinking that went into my latest YouTube video. If you did, can you do me a favor by hitting that like button? That quick and free action helps YouTube know my content is worth spreading to more people. Also, we're getting really close to reaching my next subscriber goal, and it would be great if you join me on this journey. But to do that, we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 3/4 of you that are watching this video right now are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, and that hurts my feelings. Regardless, I want to thank you for giving me some of your attention and time, and I'll see you on the next one.